Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're with us this morning. Got a big show, as always, lined up. But first, let's always take a look at our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard. Hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. It's comfortable, but it's dry. High today, 83, low 68. And man, do we need some rain. But hopefully, it's going to be some maybe by Friday inland. Look at our water temperature brought to us by Alco Electric out of Lynn Haven. Good folks there. They can do all kind of electrical work for you. Give them a call. AULCO. Really interesting. How about 79 degrees at the end of the pier? And we're at the end of April. I just looked back to April the 1st. The water temperature was 69 degrees. It's gone up 10 degrees in 1 month. We talk about it going up in April and May, and it flat sure does. Every year, it just fascinates me. Okay? River is brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. They're steady. They're getting a little bit low, but they're really steady. I mean, they're really flatline. That Apalachicola Bluntstown, 7.7, going to drop out a little bit more. And then the Chalktassia Caryville, 3.2, slow, be a little steady drop, but not dropping much at all. The river, both rivers are right. They really are. Okay, our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Long. Good strong tides this week. High at 10:33 this morning and low tonight at 10:15. Some really good strong tides. Our wind direction is south-southeast at about 10 to 15. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. As I know most of you have heard, this past week we lost a true legend in the fishing heritage here in Bay County. Captain Bobo Hobbs passed away. And Captain Bobo, he may be the last one of that generation of the old-time fishermen. He was a captain, active captain, almost 60 years on the fishing fleets here in Bay County. The Hobbs family is a remarkable family. Emery M. Hobbs, they came down here to Bay County in 1906. I wrote about him in a book, and it was so interesting. Emery Gay, he loved boats. He had a mail route from Panama City to Bayhead. They go back and forth, and then ended up building him a boat over there, and he started fishing, and he really was innovative. He had 3 sons, Emery Gay, then Eugene, and then Bobo. Those are 3 sons. So the family tradition just kept going generation after generation, and it was a fascinating time. I got some pictures here. These pictures out of my book. I'll have some more pictures to share with you, but this is a little tribute to Captain Bobo Hobbs. Starting back, this picture right here. This is the actual Gulf Clipper, and he built actually over there in the park in 1944. And then, okay, let me see. Then what happened, this was just one of the very first passenger boats in the Florida Panhandle. And really, okay, then the other one, let me see. The Gulf Clipper, okay, that's a 65-foot. Neil Kovacevic, that name rings familiar. Old Greek family built this up there around the Mobile, Biloxi area on the Gulf Coast. And you see that's a classic picture. And what the Hobbs, Emery, he was the first one to come up with a 2 a.m. trips, which was just mind-boggling to people. But they started catching so many fish. Everybody started doing it. Nobody wanted to do it at first, but then he started doing it. Okay, let me see. Okay, this one right here. All right, this is the Gulf Pride. The Gulf Pride. This Emery Gay ran this boat right here. Here's launching. You think he was proud of that boat? The Gulf Pride has so much history behind it. Now, he was born in 1921, and he worked on fishing boats, and he learned a lot. He worked with Captain Anderson's, and in the 60s, they were just really busy for Captain Hobbs. He ran the deep water. In 1967, he was a harbor master, electric harbor master, but he kept fishing part-time. He retired in the 80s, and then here's Captain Bobo Hobbs. And of all people, here was Charlie Hendricks. Remember we talked about Charlie last week with Highland Park Highland Park Elementary fishing team that he started. And he and Bobo were just really, really good friends. Bobo, he learned how to fish, and he was just had so many good experiences. But his favorite boat was always the Florida Queen. So I've got, I want to thank John, he's one of the longtime deckhands, sent me some cool pictures I want to share with you. I'm going to go through them. There's about 15 of them, but this is essence of Bobo Hobbs and the fishing trips, okay? There's Tom. Thank you, Tom. That's a heck of a worker right there and a fisherman. All right, this is 12-hour trips. You see these are pictures. Look at that big old snapper. Okay. That's where I got the name of my book, Full Box. When you fill up that box, you know you had a good day. Is that not classic right there? And here it is, that Florida Queen. I love that boat, but my love for that boat does not measure what Bobo Hobbs, the feelings he had for that boat right there. That Florida Queen, what a special boat. That's Dr. Captain Anderson's some huge Warsaw grouper they would catch. And here's some of this is, look at a big old smile. Bobo, top left hand, you know they had a grand time. I know some of the familiar faces there. And how about that tailgate picture? Just run out there with your family. There's Bobo in the middle. Here he is, he's at the helm right there. I'm a Pepsi. I think he liked that Pepsi Cola drinking. He liked the Pepsi. He'd take a nap. Now these trips are long, you know, overnight trips and all. He would get the boat going, and his assistant captain would run it, licensed captain. He would rest riding out there, riding back. But man, once you got there, he was in charge of it. Is that not some fine snapper right there? The old Deepwater. He loved that boat. Deepwater too. I can't remember the guy on the left. We fished together. We fished next to each other. That's Bobo on the right. The guy on the left that came down from Georgia almost every other week. I fished with him some. How about Bobo and them assistant captains? There he is right there at the helm. There it is, Florida Queen, classic. This is true heritage right here, folks. The Florida Queen. They really focused on 12-hour trip, but then he would take on Gemini Queen. But we're in the Gemini Queen a lot. Look at that, the size of these fish. And there he is, Captain Bobo Hobbs. Our condolences to the family. I just want to talk about what a true legend. He's the last of the legends. I don't think there's any more of those old timers left, but it was just such a thrill to go out with him, and you just knew you were going to catch some fish. When we got on that boat, you knew you were going to catch some fish. And a lot of times you go fishing, you don't know if you're going to catch any or not, but with him, you knew you did. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We were talking about, finishing up on Captain Bobo Hobbs. He ran a lot of different boats and all. He worked for Ron Hall's Queen Fleet, so he would go back and forth on Gemini and Florida Queen and all. But he was just the kind of guy you'd go up there and talk to. And you remember if you watched the show very long, over the years I've done a lot of trips with him and actually filmed. I'm going to show some, maybe next week, show one a full-length trip. One of my favorite was a 25-hour trip. You leave at noon on Saturday and come back at 1 o'clock on Sunday. And but you could get a 2-day limit on the fish, 25 hours. They started that. They started a 2 a.m. trip, the Hobbs family, and he learned a lot from his older brother, Emery Gay. And over the years talking to him, he just knew where to go and just had a knack. He loved to anchor up on that 2 o'clock trip. He'd anchor up at certain places and he'd fill a boat. But one of his favorite memories, and I've got a video coming up. I was able to find, last night Gail was able to dig out some stuff, and I've got this little 6-minute video where I actually interviewed him. On all the trips I talked to him, all the trips I took, in between catching fish and all. But then on this one, it's about 6 minutes, and he tells the story of there were so many red snapper out there. The snapper were hitting the lead, they lost all the lead, so they had to start using Coca-Cola bottles to sink it down, and then started hitting Coca-Cola bottles. So he has so many stories. I'm thankful to have some pictures of him in the book and all, the classic Panhandle captain there, and his family was very supportive, and he was just a true legend. One of the things that I liked about him, he was affable, he was friendly, he loved to joke and talk to you, and he was just a gem of a captain. Okay, so in this video here, it's about 6 minutes. This was in 2017, and Tom Martin, who fished with him so many years, and Ron Hall, who owned the Hall Queen Fleet, we all got together. I went and filmed it early that morning before the trip, and honored him in his 55 years as being a captain. That's in 2017, and he got a plaque and all, and they all got it together. So I actually filmed it. I'm so glad. This is a true classic to me, just to have this video here, and I pick it up sort of in the middle. So what we're going to do, we're going to run this one as our final tribute to Captain Bobo Hobbs. The sister ship, the Star Queen. They're getting ready. Folks, we still use electric wheels. I don't have one, but people still use them, and there it is right there. A good way to put it in a milk carton. Gemini Queen up next door. It's not going out right now. All right, folks, here we are. Good morning, Captain Bobo. All right, here we go. Okay, Tom, tell us what's going on here.
We're just thanking Bobo for 55 years on the water for all his happy and meritorious service. We've got that right there. And then we start off with...
Bobo, you could have brushed your hair.
Well, you want to
hold the plaque up.
Get Ron with him too.
I didn't know.
Ron.
Yes, sir. Hey, how you doing?
Buddy, how you doing? Come on in there. Ron Hall.
Captain Hobbs.
All right. Read it to him, Ron.
I'm going to read this to you, my eyes left you. It says, Captain Bobo Hobbs, Florida Queen, for 55 years of service, we applaud your professionalism. That's 11 issues of a captain's life.
All right, yeah. Woo!
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I hope you have many more.
I do too.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your service.
Been with you 22 years.
20-something years you been with me.
You been with 20-something years?
Yeah.
I had to put up with him.
I sure will, Sally.
Bobo, I'm going to put you on the spot now. What are some of your favorite memories of being a captain this many years?
Do what now?
What are some of your favorite memories of being a captain all these years? I know you're going to say eating a hamburger every day.
Well, back when I was teching before I got my captain license, we found a place there that was all been in the water, and they ate the lids off the thing. We had to use Coca-Cola bottles for weight. Cook got mad at us because we used 6 cases of Coca-Cola bottles because at that time you get 4 or 5 cents a piece for a Coca-Cola bottle.
That's a good story.
Look at all this good stuff here. Santa Claus was good to you.
Right, good as Christmas.
Bobo.
Christmas come early.
And then look, there's that embroidery I was talking about.
Oh, well, Captain Bobo, that's very nice, Tom. Very nice.
All Tuesday.
All right, Captain Bobo. Now, are you the oldest captain around now?
Well, I think so. I don't know. I don't feel old.
Well, you got 9 night grouper yesterday on a 12-hour trip?
Yeah, we got lucky yesterday.
Who are some of who had the biggest influence on you, Bobo, growing up?
Probably my brother.
Your brother?
Yeah, 'cause I was decking for him, and he he turned the boat over to me back when I was about 16, 17 years old. He told me, he just let me go.
Read the black one.
Wow, look at there. Nice.
That's pretty. Thank you. Thank y'all.
See the clock? Look at the clock. Right here. Put your name on it.
Yeah, that's a little Florida Queen. 55 years, that's pretty.
Let's see. Over there. Bobo, 55 years. Very good.
That's the way to do it.
I thought it was going to be perfume, but it's not.
It says Bobo on it.
How about that?
All right.
Thank y'all very much.
Want a piece of cake now?
Yeah.
Got his shirt on and got his cake. Well, listen, Bobo, you know I go with you a lot too, and I just want to tell you how much you are appreciated here in the Florida Panhandle. And on behalf of Panhandle Outdoors and all our viewers, we want to congratulate you on this achievement.
All right, thank you.
Now, are you excited about today? You got an overnight trip?
Always a 2-day trip, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You know, you got to figure out which way to go and where we're going, but I think we're going to do all right. The weather's going to be pretty.
What's your biggest challenge as a captain? What's your biggest challenge?
I caught one, weighed 44 pounds. That's a big snapper.
Biggest snapper you ever caught? Okay. All right, thank you, Bobo, and congratulations.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. That was what an honor it is to be able to do something like that. That's one of the reasons I do Panhandle Outdoors, so we can always remember these old timers. That's why we need a museum down in St. Andrew. Captain Bobo will be in that museum. Okay, let's take a look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 101 to 301 this morning, and this afternoon 133 to 333. Let's get caught up on some other pictures now, but there are other things going on too. So fresh water has been done really well. This right here, this from let's see, Steve Petty. Steve used to come on the show with us some. He moved down south and he came back home about a couple years ago and picked up fishing where he left off. So here it is right here. He caught a mess of nice mess from where? Lake Talquin, right here. It's been going on for generations, folks. My granddaddy Chester caught those same fish like that 75 years ago, probably. And we had Billy Grantham on yesterday. He didn't talk about this picture here. Matthew, his son, said they only caught 2, but I know he caught more than that. But that was good. Look at it. I like him on that barrel there. That's a good mess of fish. Here they are fishing. And look, this is typical here. You got a fishing hole, and the boats is sort of circled up around it. Okay. Of course, that top secret is where that is. It ties in here to Panhandle, although this picture down at Sanibel Island off the Gulf Coast here, this was actually a picture of a leatherback turtle track, okay? But see how wide it is. Okay, I got a couple of pictures here. You see, that's how big they are, okay? That's a track. I first thought that was like a big old 4-wheeler or something, but that's a turtle track. You see how big it is? There's a lady laying all the way across it. In fact, there it is right there. So they're rare. And then what I run across at the same time, almost on the same day, a year ago today, this was like one day last week, St. George Island had its first nest of the season. It was a special one, leatherback turtle, 6-foot wide track, and a nesting area of 35 feet. And that's the first one on St. George Island in over 10 years. And this is the group that found it. So you think they were excited? We've been now, I've actually, the one time, I'm sorry, 3 times, but one of the most memorable times, we're at St. George Island watching a turtle actually lay its eggs with it. Back then, of course, then now you couldn't do that, but we actually saw it on St. George Island. And there's a nest there. Look how big it is. And they're doing the same thing, laid in the same tracks, different lady now, but laid in the same tracks right there. So I thought that was cool. And the thing about that turtle, it's just, it's so big, it's huge, but not many of them. Jumping up here to Choctawhatchee River, we just went from Lake Talquin, run down to Choctawhatchee, Gary Martin and Ray Curry. Good mess, good mess right there. Okay, I got tickled at this. This is funny. Today's protest ended up on Shotwell. This is in Bainbridge, Georgia, which is about 25 miles where I grew up. Something going on up the river. They're having a monkey. They're going to put 30,000 monkeys. They're going to breed monkeys or something up the river, and they're going to put 400,000 gallons of wastewater into the Apalachicola River. And that last sentence is all hee hee ha ha until you end up with something Bainbridge Memorial Hospital can't treat. So they're protesting. Let's see, what does the sign say? Dirty water, abuse monkeys, stop the monkey farm, and on that ride, we'll be fishing. We'll be fishing out monkeys if we don't hear this. But anyway, that, okay, let me talk about that a second. We always talk about the letting your voice be heard in so many ways in Tallahassee or protesting like that. I've never disagreed with protests like that, and some of them just crazy, crazy kind of stuff, and that's ridiculous. But that they don't really know what's going on. I've heard a year or two ago they were having a monkey farm up the river, and they're raising monkeys for medical research or whatever. And there are a lot of people upset about it up in that area they're doing it, and then downriver from there. We start talking about downriver, and we're downriver here from the Apalachicola, and it would eventually end up in Apalachicola Bay. And I was really tickled to see they're trying to put a bill across talking about the environment of maybe not of outlawing oil drilling in Apalachicola Bay. And they were actually some people were actually proposing that. And you think they care anything about the environment? They don't. All they care about is this. So we as outdoorsmen have to have our voices heard, and if we stand up with a sign to keep the monkeys out, whatever it is, protect our water and take care of it. We got to do it, and I admire people who do that. So enjoy doing today's show. A special tribute to the late Captain Bobo Hobbs. Listen, y'all do something good for someone else today. Enjoy the great outdoors. Take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.